So ID checks will be introduced for Google search. How has this happened? Where has this happened? And what has happened overall? Well, if we rewind a little bit, recently Australia introduced their under 16 social media ban, which is a noble ideology that under 16 shouldn't really be spending their life on TikTok. But the way in which that's been introduced basically means that everyone over the age of 16 needs to submit a copy of either their ID, biometric scan, or link a bank account to utilize social media in Australia. Now, of course, the UK, Canada, and other countries are eyeing this up and absolutely creaming themselves over it, but a bigger issue has started to present itself. Back in June of 2025, the Australian government mandated that companies like Google and Microsoft should be testing the introduction of age verification for access to their search platforms. So Google Search, Microsoft Search Platform, and other companies alike. And as of the 27th of December this year, the Australian government is going to make it a legal requirement that companies that produce search engines require age verification to utilize their platform. Let's get into the details. But before we do that, to prevent this happening from you, you should get yourself a VPN. And if you also want to support the channel, you can use the link down below to private internet access VPN. They don't keep any logs, they respect your privacy, and with that link down below or this QR code here, you can get yourselves 4 months free and 86% off. Now let's get into all the juicy details. Australia is quietly introducing unprecedented age checks for search engines like Google. From December the 27th, Google, which dominates the Australian search market with a share of more than 90%, and its rival Microsoft, will have to use some form of age assurance technology on users when they sign in, or face fines of almost $50 million per breach. I believe that's Australian dollars. So that's about 30 million US dollars. I'll put it on the screen. Now, the reason why it's saying that you need to produce ID to sign into the platform is because essentially, if you don't sign into the platform, the search results you get are massively watered down. Things like news tabs and other things like that will be removed. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this because it's still in the testing phase, but I believe the images and video tab will also be removed from the search bar. So basically, to make Google work, you need to sign in, and to sign in, you need to verify your age. Despite the apparent magnitude of the shift, it has mostly gone unnoticed, in stark contrast to the political and media fanfare surrounding the teen social media ban, which will block under 16s from major platforms using similar technology. And this is the thing, when we get dystopian rules and regulations rolled out, whether it be in the UK, Canada, Australia, or even the US, which is now, well, nearly half the states in the US are pushing for age verification at the moment, which is absolutely absurd. When so much happens at once, obviously it's really difficult to choose what you want to tackle, what you want to fight after. And this is why so many things have happened so quickly. Just in the past 9 months, we've had the Online Safety Act in the UK, we've had Digital ID, Australia's had this thing being introduced, as well as the under 16 social media ban, as well as 6 countries in Europe now introducing their own online safety measures, as well as countries around the rest of the world, as well as 20 states all of a sudden signing legislation to either limit the usage of VPN, ban the usage of VPNs, or introduce their own versions of the Online Safety Act. We've also had Canada discussing their version of the Online Safety Act within their government. There is a lot happening all at once to the point where we can't fight it all. And this is where it actually comes down to their tactful way of doing this. Essentially, with the Online Safety Act, they managed to roll that out, and not enough people were opposed to it. So it was actually relatively easy for them just to slip in more and more legislation, because like I said in yesterday's video, it's easier to get a quite basic bill passed and then amend it, because the amendments are way more likely to get approved than it is to basically do one piece of legislation with everything in it. It becomes too complicated. So what they like to do is get a very basic piece of legislation passed and then submit amendments immediately after. And we can see the same in the UK with the Child's Wellbeing and Schools Bill, which sounds brilliant, doesn't it? Well, that was passed in September, and since then there's been 6 amendments that have been proposed for it, 4 of which have been passed, and 2 are in the process of being passed. The 2 that are yet to be passed are the ones that basically require age verification and ID verification to download a VPN. Yep, we did a video on that. And the next one that's yet to be passed, which probably will get passed in the coming weeks, is the requirement, and I still can't believe this, the requirement for manufacturers like Apple and Samsung to put in technology inside your phone that can scan your camera and your photos album to make sure there's no pictures of children. Basically treating everyone like criminals in the hope they catch a criminal. But like I said, there's 2 videos here. I've done videos about both of these topics. But Australia is taking the same tact here. They basically rolled out a piece of legislation, and now they're modifying that legislation because those amendments are very easy to get passed, and they're making it more dystopian. The problem is as well is Australia is a really good testing bed for a lot of new systems. We've seen Australia be the first to introduce a lot of new ideas and concepts, and the US, the UK and Canada look at Australia Australia and they basically go, oh, well, they've tested it. It seems to work for them. We'll try it over here. It raises so many red flags and concerns, well, anyone in the Western world, that this is now something that exists. All of this, not just the this particular thing, but all of it altogether exists, and it's just been allowed to happen. I'm very keen to hear what you guys think about this down below. Obviously, this is Australian stuff. It hasn't come to the UK yet. I can bet good money on the fact that it is going to come to the UK. Yeah. It's concerning to say the least. Anyway, if you don't want to be affected by this when it does come into effect in the rest of the world or even in Australia, make sure to check out Private Internet Access VPN in the link down below, where you get 4 months free and 86% off. I'm going to keep following this because I think this is going to get more and more interesting as things evolve with this, and obviously as it spreads to other countries. So if you do want to keep in the loop with what's happening and whether your country is next, make sure to like and subscribe and tap the bell icon to be notified when a new video comes out. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video.